Number one is definitely prioritizing your family, because even if you know that the business that you're wanting to start is something that you've been passionate about for some time, and you've been dreaming around this for since you were a child, it doesn't mean that you can leave your family behind. No, you can't, because they're number one, and they should always be number one. And you can still do the things you love to do together with them in your life. You don't have to feel guilty if there's a day when you didn't play a game with your kids, or you didn't bake cookies as wished. But what I find really important, especially for my daughter, when she has dreams of doing nails or painting or baking or having a picnic or something like that, then if today doesn't work, which she's the type of lady that would just do it now. Why not now? To get it over with. But if I'm not up for it, then I will say, okay, well, let's see what we can do. Let's do Thursday, or let's see what Saturday. Or I'll literally take out my calendar sometimes and look at my schedule and be like, you know what? Friday afternoon looks good. I think Friday afternoon, let's do Friday afternoon. All right. So we're set. We just make an appointment for the picnic. We're going to have a picnic Friday afternoon, and that's set. And I've never actually put it in my scheduler, but I think I should start, because what if Thursday morning comes and somebody asks me for time on Friday afternoon, and plug it in and be like, oh shoot, now I double scheduled myself, which I literally did, because my daughter made a schedule, or she made an appointment with me, and I told her that I was going to have time at that time. So that is something that, again, scheduling, priorities, discipline, keeping your word, and all of that. Even if your child is like all enthusiastic about doing something now, it doesn't have to be now. If you're not up for it, if you had a hard day, then tell them when. And she's fine with that. She'll be like, okay, fine, whatever, can we do this today? And maybe it'll be something a little more easygoing. Well, sure, we can definitely work on that today. So that's something that you can do as well as, as a working parent. If you don't have time now, then tell them when you will have time, so that they don't feel forgotten. They don't feel like they don't matter. They don't need to feel like, oh, mommy never wants to spend time with me anyway. No. If you tell them, look, today is just not a good day. I had a hard day at work. Let's do it another day. And then give them a time, give them a date, and put it in your schedule, and don't overbook yourself, because they got that time. And I would recommend anybody, that is thinking of starting a business, you really need to sit down and think it through. How important is this business to you? Is this something that you can do and want to do, and you're very passionate about it? Like from 0 to 10, it should be a 12. Because it's going to be hard. Even though you so badly want it, it's still going to be hard. There's still going to be challenges. And so is it going to be worth it? And don't start something that you're not going to have the energy to pull through and to finish it and to make it something that is profitable. Because that's the last thing you want to do, is sit there and regret the time that you used to try something and it didn't work, when you could have spent it on something else. That's the last thing you want to do. And so think it through really well, talk to people about it. And what I found useful for myself when I started talking about this to other people, it was like every time I talked about it, it energized me. I would get so pumped up. And even just talking about it made my day. And, it was before anything was set, anything was going. It was just the idea of doing it just got me so excited that eventually I realized, what, this is something that I need to pay attention to. This is something that is legit. That's also basically what's kept me going, is knowing that this energizes me, and if it doesn't energize me, I need to take a different route. Or if it if I'm not doing something right, then I need to take a different route because it needs to be energizing me. So yeah, and in it all, you have to be flexible and adaptable to what comes your way and what happens and what doesn't happen. Because for myself, of course, you have big ideas, you have big dreams, and that's good, that's fine. But always keep in mind what your goal is. So for example, my goal is helping people. And it can even, my goal is helping people in health. But I love helping people even if it comes to babysitting, changing a tire. I'm going to help you with anything that I can help you with. That's just what I love doing. That's what keeps me going. That's what energizes me. So the plan and the dreams and the visions and all those things, they can change how you get to your goal. You might not always know exactly what that road is going to look like, but that's where you just have to be flexible. But the goal doesn't need to change. You still set your goal, you keep your goal, but the plan and the ways of getting or accomplishing your goal can change. So keep that in mind. Don't lose yourself in your own dreams and visions because you're like, no, but I had this vision about this so clearly and this has to happen. Well, it probably will, but maybe not in the years that you thought it would. So be flexible and don't let that overwhelm you and overtake you and distract you and keep you from actually doing things that you would be able to be doing today. So have your goal in mind at all times. What is your goal? What do you want to, in my case, how can I help people today? And then the future plans and visions and things, well, let's see how they carry out. Let's see who I meet along the way. Let's see how that will fall into place. If it doesn't happen today, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. So as for self-care, that is something that you have to also schedule in your schedule, literally. I do 1 day a month. That's, kind of my day to either go shopping, do my nails, go swimming. Of course, swimming happens randomly as well. But if I feel, there's something to just being by yourself, surrounded by you and nature, and just having that time. But you have to find what energizes you. What do you enjoy as self-care? What makes you think like, or make you feel like, okay, this is, right now I don't have a worry in the world. So where do you have to go and what do you have to do in order to have that feeling? And if a whole day doesn't work, that's fine. At least if it's a couple of hours, and make sure you get to that point where you're like, yeah, life is good. And you start to just realize the good things in life, and you start thinking positively. You forget all the negative things. You're like, you know what? Those things don't matter anymore. What's important is my family, my health, my life, the people around me, things like that. So make sure you get to a point like that once in a while or once a month, and put it in your schedule so that you make sure it happens. You want to have a good support system, and you want to make sure that the people close to you, the people that you trust, the people that matter to you are on board with you. Because having them go against you can be very challenging. And I know there are people that have had to, kind of let go of people that didn't support them and were, tearing them down or weighing them down. And I've had to do that too. But you want to make sure that you cultivate the relationships that are important to you. And if there are challenges that where you feel like your family doesn't understand you or isn't supporting you anymore, then sit down with them and just ask them, okay, so what's happening here? Why am I feeling this? Communication is huge. You need to know what's going through their mind, and they need to know what's going through your mind. You might be feeling something that isn't even necessarily the truth, or you may be feeling one way when they didn't mean to make you feel that way. So if you communicate with them and say, well, when you say this or do this, it makes me feel like you don't support me. And then you can talk about it. And then they can know, well, okay, I need to stop saying it like this, or I need to stop acting in this way because that makes me feel unsupported, or that, and if the people truly love you and care about you, they're going to want to sit down with you and talk this through. Because, for example, a father or a mother, they always want to be understanding of their children, and or your partner, your children, they always want to be understanding of what's going on. So it's really important to just sit down and talk about it and have their support. You always want to have their support.